Seed saving is a fabulous way to save money and have gardening enter into that cycle of sustainability where you're not always having to put money into it, but you're able to keep things going in what's called a closed loop. So seed saving is lovely because there are many plants that produce viable seeds that you can use year after year. They're often called heirloom plants, so that's where that term comes from. And tomatoes are pretty easy to do this with, lots of flowers, because obviously the point of the flower is to make seeds, right? That's the whole reason that these plants are producing these tomatoes and flower heads. Marigolds are wildly easy, zinnias. You can save seeds from vegetables like green beans and tomatoes and peas, but I learned that you should not save seeds from squashes. I was like, wait, what? So the cucumber family and the zucchini family, the pumpkin family, those are all various forms of squashes. Now, I would say pumpkins, if you're not eating them, those would probably be fine to use previous seeds and replant. I know my pumpkins, if I've had a couple rot in the garden, I can't help but have them grow back. Here's the caution about squashes. So cucumbers and zucchinis particularly. So when they flower, they get pollinated, right? And there's something called cross-pollination, where they actually get pollinated not just from like the cucumbers in their same family, but squashes can get pollinated with pollen from other squashes. So that might seem like, well, great, now my plant is pollinated and my cucumber is grown and success, I get to eat my cucumber. And that's true for that cucumber. But if you save the seeds from a cucumber that's been cross-pollinated, and I don't know the exact specifics like what it would have to be, but if you have zucchinis and cucumbers and pumpkins, all things with that kind of yellow squash flower, which those are edible by the way and very tasty, stuff them with some goat cheese, fry them. I digress. But if you have various things in your garden with a squash flower, which most people do, they can cross-pollinate, and then the seeds that form from that cross-pollination can actually grow a zucchini or a cucumber that can be poisonous. I just heard about this for the first time last year, and I have a hunch that some of my cucumber plants that I saved the seeds for, they just didn't produce a nice variety. So I didn't have anything poisonous, but I wasn't quite as satisfied with the flavor of my cucumbers. So because every seed is actually a new genetic combination, right? So unless you're in a place where you only have cucumbers and you have no other squashes, your neighbor doesn't have squashes, there's no chance for it to get cross-pollinated, you don't want to save cucumber or zucchini seeds for consumption. So that is my major tip for you on seed saving. Otherwise, it's lovely. It's a great way to save money. I forgot to do some of mine last year. I did a lot of it the year before. I did green beans, I did peas, I did tomatoes, lots of flowers. I do easily save flowers because that's something I can actually have my kids just go and deadhead flowers. We dry them out. If you stick them in a Ziploc bag when you are collecting seeds, they can rot, right? Because the moisture from the seed head can actually rot it. But if you just like kind of lay them out to dry, you don't necessarily need a dehydrator, but even just laying them out on the counter, letting them dry out, can be a great way to dry the seeds and then store them in like an envelope, like a paper envelope, not a Ziploc bag, because again, you want the air to be able to move through them. So really easy. If you've saved seeds and you're going to use them in winter sowing or planning to use them in the garden, excellent. If you have saved seeds from the squash family, I would suggest you reconsider those and maybe pick up the $2 bag of cucumbers or zucchini seeds, so to avoid any potential disasters there. Fascinating world of plants and pollination. Thanks for joining me on Growing Green Wonder today. Stay tuned for more tips. Be sure to like and subscribe so that others can find the channel and be helped by it. Be sure to ask questions below too. I would love to interact and hear what questions you have and help you in your gardening journey.